Welcome to WMLT News. I'm Brian Arnold.
And I'm Rachel Lucas. The Campus Beautiful is booming with expansion this semester. Upgrades to the student cafeteria and the addition of a new workout facility are already complete. While other additions will soon be complete, University Point, an interfaith student chapel, is under construction. Brian Arnold has more.
It's a project nearly 80 years in the making. In the 1930s, Concord College president J. Franklin Marsh Sr. set as a goal the establishment of an interfaith chapel on campus. And in 2008, University Point is finally under construction. Dr. Greg Aloya sees potential for fellowship in the chapel.
A place for individuals to express their individual faiths and their values in a setting that is respectful for all belief systems in a very multi-cultured, multi-complex world we live in.
Still, the University Point project has not been without controversy. SGA President Wes Prince said the project was actually voted down in the spring.
It's definitely very controversial on campus because the public school funding a chapel of any sort. The three constituencies represented on campus didn't want it, the teachers didn't want it, the classified staff didn't want it, and the students all voted against it. So it passed the board of governors by everyone voting for it who doesn't have any affiliation technically with the school.
Dr. Aloya, who was named Concord's president after the project was already underway, believes University Point will be a positive development for Concord.
Well, I think I look at the building as a whole. You've got both Alumni Center and a fellowship hall as well as a chapel. This building can be a very vibrant center for campus, and it's something that we can have both academic and service activities as well as alumni activities.
University Point is scheduled to be completed by fall 2009. For WMLT in Athens, I'm Brian Arnold.
There is also a gazebo under construction nearby. Sean Miser will have more on that next week.
While there are several buildings springing up on campus, one was in danger of burning down. Arden Hamrick has more.
A fire at South Towers, a dormitory here on the Campus Beautiful, didn't cause much damage because the fire department and housing staff acted quickly to get the blaze under control. The fire caused a lot of delays for Concord students Monday afternoon. One such student was Mike Dorsey.
So I showed up and I saw smoke pouring out of the 10th floor, and the trash chute caught on fire, and they're trying to clear the smoke out now, but apparently they got it contained.
The fire was apparently caused by a cigarette that landed on a discarded pizza box in the building's trash chute. It's fortunate that no one was hurt, and the fire showed students just how important their safety is to the university. Arden Hamrick, WMLT News, Athens.
Concord Homecoming is October 18th. The football team will be facing off with Glenville State, and as is tradition with most homecomings, there will certainly be a large contingent of tailgaters for the game. The university set strict guidelines for any alcohol consumption at the game. There will be 3 designated parking lots where alcohol is permitted. Anyone who wishes to drink will be asked for ID and given a wristband indicating that they are of legal age. Beer is the only permissible adult beverage. No glass bottles or kegs are allowed, and drinking games such as beer pong and quarters are prohibited. This will be the second year that Concord has placed guidelines on drinking and allowed alcohol at that homecoming football game after a few years of banning alcohol from the grounds. Director of Student Union Activities, Marshall Campbell, explains the reasoning behind the move.
There were some events that occurred over the past, 5 to 10 years where some people looked at it and decided, well, let's go dry. This is an attempt to move to some sort of middle ground where we allow it but in controlled environment with controlled or reviewed situation.
Concord urges students and alumni to enjoy themselves at the game, but to do so responsibly.
In a recent edition of the Concordian, there was a story that got some strong reactions from Concord students and Athens residents. During a recent community meeting, it was proposed that the Athens police train and keep drug-sniffing dogs on campus, but few students know that Waddell was recently visited by drug dogs and police to do a random search. WMLT caught up with a few Waddell residents and asked them how they felt about the search and recent proposal.
I didn't like the drug dogs coming on campus because I think that it's an invasion of privacy. And the reason that I don't think that they should be here all the time is because I didn't pay to be reprimanded and harassed.
How do I feel about the drug dogs being here on campus? It makes me feel like they're invading my privacy. I don't really see how that's going to help the crime. From what I know, I don't think there really is much of a crime problem here on campus. To be honest, if they really want to get rid of some of the crime, the best thing to do is just cops should just pay more attention to what's going on around, maybe add a few cameras.
Drug dogs on campus, that's really a bad idea. I mean, this is a really small campus. And I mean, granted, like, Chief Stella has a good point of if you don't have anything to worry about, then you shouldn't have a problem with the dogs being here. But I mean, it's an invasion of privacy.
In just a few weeks, a new president will be elected, and Concord students are all ready to rock the vote. We went out to see what students think about the year's presidential election.
The Iraq War. That's the main thing that the president's going to have to come in and deal with, followed very closely by the struggling economy that we have right now, because we're just about 2 steps above a Great Depression again.
His pick of the vice presidential candidate was immature and irresponsible of him to do so. And another thing would be his medical history. He's had 4 bouts with cancer, and he's really old. He's like 72, 73.
I really don't like either candidate. I just favor John McCain over Barack Obama.
It's probably a slightly even split, maybe favored a little more to the Democrats on campus as far as the population goes, but as far as activity goes, Democrats are a lot more active.
The right way or the truth in any situation is usually divided somewhere down the middle, and it's not radically one way or the other on either side.
And now it's time for a new addition to our newscast, the Concordian Minute. Marilee McAuliffe will run down the stories from this week's issue of the Concord student newspaper, the Concordian, in 60 seconds. Take it away, Marilee.
Thanks, Brian. Computer Center doubles internet speed on campus. Previously, Concord had 40 megabits of bandwidth, and now Concord has 80 megabits available. Students have already noticed that watching YouTube, for example, is much faster. Students can now use their video game consoles to play online games, so that should be good news to all you Halo fans on campus. There will be a new handgun safety course starting next month at Concord. The Social Science Department recently added it in their curriculum. The 5-week course will educate students in the safe and proper technique for handling and firing a handgun. The course will be held primarily on campus and will walk Concord students through all the necessary procedures involved with the safe and effective handling of firearms. The class is already overbooked. Well, this October, Concord University will be competing for the 3rd time in the annual Business Plan Competition. The Business Plan Competition is designed to attract students from all over West Virginia with ideas for new innovative products and/or companies. The winner of the competition will be awarded $10,000 for the start of their new business. And that's it for this week's Concord Minute, brought to you by the Concordian. Back to you, Brian.
Thanks, Marilee. After this quick break, we'll take a look at CU sports
and tell you about an annual music festival at nearby Pipestem. WCUR, Concord University Radio, is in the process of a facelift. The radio station has moved from the basement of the library to the new Ray Hall building this semester. We asked the Center of Academic Technologies Director, Tim Barnes, what is different about this new station.
There's a master control room, and then there's the area for talent, huge glass window in between, so the technicians can, direct various aspects of the radio program. We've moved our radio station, our old radio station, into a new building and a completely brand new radio station. It's all set up for that. One thing that hadn't been done yet was running the cables that will take the signal back to the head-end. And so right now our radio station is only streaming over the web. On the 13th of October, we have some folks coming down that are going to string the cables for us and put in the necessary equipment so we can transmit back towards our head-end.
The Mountain Lion cross-country teams found themselves a long way from home and facing a lot of unfamiliar competition. Randy Horner has more.
Hi, I'm Randy Horner, reporting to you from Blacksburg, Virginia, at the site of the Virginia Tech Invitational cross-country meet, where the Concord Mountain Lions men's and women's team will be competing today.
Things seem to be going pretty well. Today will be a good test. It's nearly an 8K today, so this will be the longest race we've run all year. So it'll be kind of a good test for us to see kind of where we stack up in the conference as far as 8K distance goes. So should be good. But we're doing well. We're just going to keep progressing and hopefully do well. Today's going to be some pretty stiff competition. We got Florida State, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest.
Concord's men's and women's team finished 6 out of 6 teams against all D1 schools like Florida State, Wake Forest, and Virginia Tech. On a fair course, the runners feel like they competed well, and this race will help them towards conference.
It was great. I love the course. Get to run against some good D1 runners. It's going to give us a great boost of motivation, and we should be in contention in conference.
And Amanda Blankenship finished 29th overall, the highest placing mountain lion in either the guys or the women's race.
We're improving every year, so we got closer in times today. So I think we're a lot closer than what we had been earlier in the season. So everybody's improving. It's really good.
This is Randy Horner reporting for WMLT from Blacksburg, Virginia.
For the 5th consecutive year, Pipestem State Park played host for Culture Fest. Culture Fest is a world music and arts festival which celebrates the culture of Appalachia alongside that of nations of the world. The festival presents numerous top-quality music acts and dance performances from around the world, ethnic food, artisan vendors, a children's village, drum circles, demonstrations, and workshops. Arden Hamrick was there for the festival.
Culture Fest 2008 kicked off this year with some new faces and some old favorites. The music festival is finally starting to attract some bigger names such as Laura Reed and Deep Pocket, Telesma, and Cat Niece. Culture Fest is also attracting more people and vendors as it continues to grow, pleasing one of the organizers of the event, Lori McKinney.
It's been really inspiring this year. It really felt like it took hold. Everybody that was here, there was just a real connection amongst all the people.
People came from all over the U.S. to be at Culture Fest this year. One of those people is Raven Perez. Raven owns an art store in Lewisburg, West Virginia, and came to sell some of his wares.
Culture Fest is the kind of thing that West Virginia actually needs more of. You get a lot of people, a lot of talented people in the state. They have to leave to make use of their talent. This actually kind of represents, a little bit of hope just for people having an opportunity to do things.
One vendor even came after a trip to Iraq. Photographer Paul Corbett Brown, who specializes in human rights photography, was at Culture Fest enjoying himself.
We need more of these things, period, but particularly here in West Virginia. And it's great that they're opening some doors of opportunity for this area.
And there's no need to be hesitant to bring your family along to Culture Fest.
The people who worked the festival this year, it was all a real family feeling. And I know that it feels like we have a leg to stand on now as far as the infrastructure, the people who really care about the festival.
Arden Hamrick, WMLT News, Athens.
That's going to do it for this edition of WMLT News. For Rachel Lucas and everyone else here at WMLT, I'm Brian Arnold. And we're going to leave you with some footage from the Spirit of America air show over Martinsburg.